Morning all. That's a shame. That's the difference from evening all, isn't it? Right, this reading is going to be a tarot reading, looking into what we may or may not come up against in 2025. Right, I haven't quite decided how I'm going to do this reading, to be honest, but I think I'm just going to do it on the fly. So let me just move my crystal ball so I can still see that. Right away. Okay, so I'm feeling that 2025 is going to be quite difficult in some respects, and in others not so much. It feels like we need to be looking more at maybe resetting focus a bit, and trying not to get too caught up in the shenanigans that's going on. And the reason I say that is because the more you get caught up in something, and the more that you allow something to consume your mind, the more likely it is that you will lower your own vibration. You will automatically lower the vibration of others in your midst, and that spreads out. And the lower the vibration, and the more the fear, and the more the anger, and the more the upset, the more likely it is for evil to do their thing. Anger's contagious. Fear is contagious. But so is bravery. And I think we need to all start to, it's difficult to say, but possibly shake it off a bit, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. I can feel it already. It's going to be a bumpy ride. I've meditated this morning. There's going to be economic issues, there's going to be political issues, there's going to be unrest issues, there's going to be unjust issues, and it's going to continue along a theme. But what we need to keep in mind while all this is going on is this is all in divine timing. There is a reason for this, and I believe the reason for all this bumpy ride, all this lack of justice, lack of fairness, is all to wake us up. It's to make us realise what's important, because I believe many of us have forgotten what's important. We've been caught up with work and keeping ourselves above water materially, financially, basically treading water for such a long time that we've forgotten to be mindful of values, family values, the values of love and compassion. And yes, compassion and love goes into places where, we receive, we give back. I'm not saying you need to be all compassionate about everything and everything, because there are injustices that are going on in this country. There are plenty of injustices, and to ignore that and be all zen and be all compassionate is not going to change anything. Now is the time to start gathering your communities and starting to take peaceful action. I was reminded in my meditation of Martin Luther King, who had it down pat. So did Gandhi, had it down pat. Peaceful movement, no one causing an issue, no one causing any issues whatsoever, just peaceful protest, civil unrest. This is peaceful unrest, if you like, civil unrest, because the moment violence and hurty words and everything else come out of the closet, that's when the people who wish to enslave us, which I believe is what's happening, will have an angle on that. So it only takes a few people to spoil the peaceful protest, civil disobedience, if you like. It only takes a few, and then they'll just hang on to that, and it'll be, you know, what we had in summer, far right thugs and all that, because one or two people went too far because they're angry. It feels like that's where we are right now. We are on the precipice of civil disobedience, and it takes everyone to be civilly disobedient and not take it too far. So anyway, we've got the ordinary Rider-Waite Tarot. I've got the Angel Wisdom Tarot by Radley Valentine, Enchanted Map Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid, and Wisdom of the Oracle, also by Colette Baron-Reid. So I'm not sure how I'm going to go with this first. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these two together, and I'm going to start with these two. So I'm going to take an oracle card first for 2025. What should we be focusing on for 2025? There are, I have received quite a number of emails, which are not very pleasant, but it's all fine. People who don't like my style of reading, they don't like what I say. Can I just remind everybody that this is a tarot reading? It's supposed to be for entertainment purposes only. And if you are not entertained, please switch off. There are plenty of people who come to my channel who subscribe to my channel, who watch every single video that I put up and enjoy them. There are people that watch every single video that I put up because they don't enjoy them. So that's not the way forward, is it? So, sorry, I forgot to mention, this reading is for the people in 2025, and we've got Loyal Heart, number 35. 35, Loyal Heart. Evidence of loyalty will appear in your life. Others will prove they are faithful to you, and you will in turn commit fully to them. There is a sure and abiding certainty in your heart. Know that Spirit is always loyal to you. No matter the outer circumstances in your life, trust and have faith, for you are eternally loved, always divinely protected and divinely directed. Your long-term loyalty to your goals is becoming evident in the world of conditions, where your aspirations for success assume form in reality. Success is finally taking shape. If you are loyal to your dreams, faithful to your plans while remaining flexible and devoted to serving others, you will be shown proof of your true prosperity. This is a time for a joyful celebration of Spirit, your manifesting partner. Right. So this is talking to me about gathering like-minded individuals together. There are people in this world, government and people in higher places, that we cannot trust. This much is self-evident. But there are people in your life whom you can trust. And it's about, I've said it for months and months and months, it's about knowing your tribe and remaining alongside your tribe, sticking together, because it's safety in numbers. It's a safety in numbers scenario for 2025. Stick with the people you know you can trust. So let's have a look for the people. What are we What's 2025 going to bring for the people? I will be looking at possibly, we're looking at politics and economics. Politically and economically, what's going on with the people in 2025? Enough. Okay, thank you. What's going on with politics and the people? So we'll and economics. Sorry, politics and economics. Politics, economics. So right off the back, this is politics, this is economics. We've got the Six of Swords, politics moving on, moving through the crap basically to something a little bit more smooth. So politically, we might start to look like we are seeing a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. Economically, we've got greed here. Now, the Nine of Cups is, for me, is a wealthy person. We have the Nine of Pentacles, which shows a single woman, which is someone who's self-made and got everything she needs and is blissfully happy in her garden. This one always reminds me of greed. So economically, we've got greed going on. Well, we're going to expand on that. So politically, so whereabouts are we moving to politically? Don't forget, this is swords, so this is about the mind. So perhaps what we ought to be maybe focusing on in 2025 is instead of being mentally caught up with what's going on and allowing that to instill fear and uncertainty and worry in us, maybe we need to start to rise above it a little bit and try and see what it is that we do want as a collective and head towards what we do want. Write down what it is that you want to manifest. We've got a new moon, I believe it's on Monday and on the 30th in Capricorn. Think about what it is that you wish to achieve in 2025. Speak that to another person and write it down and keep it until the full moon, and then see how far you've come. You also need to take action towards that. So decide what it is that you want to achieve. Write it, speak it to another person, write it down, and then start to think about what steps you can take, either individually or collectively, to head towards that goal. So we're talking about using the mind to steer past the crap, because it will be okay on the other side. Trust and believe. This is greed, and I don't know why, but we're going to look at this one. So politically. And then we've got the sun. So this feels like this is not all bad. The sun shines a light on something. So what is the sun shining a light on? I'll just move that to one side for now. What's the sun shining a light on in 2025 as regards politics? What's the sun shining a light on? We have the Six of Pentacles. So there will be more even-handedness as far as the share of wealth. Now, the Six of Pentacles is someone who is redressing the balance financially in a lot of ways. If you look, this person is giving money to the poor. This rich person is giving money to the poor, evening out the balance. It feels as though there's going to be some evening of the balance going on in 2025. Look out for maybe more fairer economic policy, looking possibly even an overturn of some of the budget cuts. This could possibly be the winter fuel allowance being overturned, or the inheritance tax being overturned. But this is definitely the rich giving back to the poor, redressing the balance. So it looks like 2025 is going to bring us a little bit of relief in that. What's this? Right. What about all the money that we are spending on things that aren't helping British people? Right. We've got the Chariot and we've got the Lovers. So we are going to move forward in a very determined way. And this is partnership. So I'm wondering whether we are heading towards rejoining the EU. Because this is breakneck speed. This is someone who's very determined, knows what they're after. This is possibly Keir Starmer making some pact, a partnership. I'm wondering if we're going to go back into the EU through the back door. Are we going to, right? So, and what's that going to mean for us then? So we're going through to the back into the EU, which will wake a hell of a lot of people up. This is going to wake a sleeping giant. So although we are mentally, we can rise above it, there will be some redress of balance of I'm wondering whether this is to do with the budgets, whether we're going to overturn the decision for the winter fuel allowance, possibly inheritance tax, possibly some of the tax rises might be reversed. Some of this money is going to be given back to those most deserving, the poor. So let's have a look at that, or a light shining on the fact that there needs to be a redress of balance. And then we've got heading straight on, head on towards a deal, an agreement, a pact, which will wake up those who have been sleeping and haven't been paying attention. Judgment. So what will this judgment mean for 2025? Is this going to lead to something? Is this going to lead to something? This is going to lead to people, many people, going over and over and over what just happened. This feels to me like this is all in divine timing. It feels as though, right, now I'm looking at it in a different way. This feels to me like we are heading towards a better time where the balance will be redressed. We will be heading towards an agreement, a contract. It feels like going back into the EU, which will wake a lot of people up and send them going back over the years that's passed and looking over stuff that they have overlooked. The recent medical issue that we had 4 years ago, and what really happened there, the issue of free speech and what happened there, the issue of political prisoners and what happened there, the issue of going back into the EU and what has happened since the vote. People are going to start going back and looking right from the beginning again to see where it went wrong, because it is going to go wrong, and 2025 is going to be like the terrible boil that's just about to burst. 2025, I think it's going to burst. And then what? So what's the outcome of that? The world. We've got the dancer. We've got Joy coming back, possibly towards the end of 2025. But it looks like at the beginning of 2025, up to about April, May time, it's going to be really. It's going to be tight and tricky. The middle of the year is going to be even trickier to some extent, but not in other ways, because people are going to wake up to what's been happening. And then towards the end of the year, people are going to go back over what's really happened, how they've missed stuff, how they've been so blind to what's going on. And it feels like relief. Okay, so it feels like more people are going to be on board with this resistance to what's happening to us as a collective. So that is politically what's happening. Economically, there's some greed going on. So what's this greedy person doing? Clarify. In fact, I'm not going to clarify with tarot. I'm going to clarify with these. So let me put these to one side. Clarify the greed. What's going off with the greed? So politically, there's some manoeuvrings going on. I mean, I think we already knew that Europe is a goal for Keir Starmer, but it feels like he's going to make agreements that is a little bit of a step too far for people who believe in democracy. And it's going to wake a sleeping beast. And those people who've been happy to be oblivious to what's going on for the last 4 or 5 years and more are going to wake up and will no longer be happy to be oblivious, and will come along and join the rest of us. Not everyone is going to wake up. Not everybody wants to wake up. But and that's all in their journey. It's all in divine timing. So what's this greed about, please? Too many. What's this greed about, please? For our economy, what's this greed all about? How many have we got? 2. We've got the 9 of Swords, and we've got the 3 of Cups. So we've got this fat cat, greedy fat cat, which is creating a lot of anxiety. People are expecting even more, even more cuts, even more taxes, even more of a squeeze in 2025, and that may happen. That may well happen. But it feels like with the other cards, when I said that there's a redress of the balance, the poor being given money back, it felt like maybe some of the budget announcements are going to be reversed, like the inheritance tax, etc. There is no need to be anxious over what's next financially for us, as far as taxes, etc. are concerned. Because it feels like there is going to be a bit of a reversal going on. See, this feels like community. I mean, 3 is about community anyway. The 3 of Cups is about a celebration, but it's also about a celebration within the community. It's like stop being in anxiety over money issues, because money's just energy. That's all it is. and we can get through. We are going to get through this, and the more you worry about it, the more it feels like the more people worry and are anxious about the economy, the more it feels like the thumb screws are only going to get squeezed even tighter, because the government knows if it's got its population in fear, it's got total control. We have to show that we're not afraid, and if we show that we're not afraid and we stick together, we will get to that point where nothing they do will show them that they have control over us, because they won't have control over your mind if you don't allow them to have control over your mind. This feels like greed. This greed is like, it feels like arrogance. There's an arrogance here in our economy. There's an arrogance over it feels as if, you know, when you go to a bank and you want to take some money out, and the person behind the desk is really upset about that, as if it's their money. It feels as if the government believes that the money that comes into the treasury is their money. It's not, it's ours. And because of the way they've been behaving, it's caused quite a lot of anxiety. We need to step out of that. We need to step out of that. We don't live in a country where you're going to starve to death. We don't. Because there's always somewhere you can go. There's always somewhere you can go to be fed. We need to step out of this anxiety and the frustration and the fear of what's happening economically. And we just need to stick together and rise above it and try not to worry too much about that. Because the more fear and worry that's knocking around in the ether, that it just gives them the arrogance. I can do what I want. Everything is all mine. The power is mine to take. That's the attitude. And the way to stop the attitude is to step out of the fear and celebrate your life with the people who matter to you. So that's what's happening politically. It's a massive psyop. It's there and it is designed to scare us all, so that we are all fearful, just like what happened over 4 years ago. Make everybody shit scared of dying, and then we can manipulate them. It's the same thing here. It's still going on, and it's ongoing. We have to step up. It's ongoing. Basically, it's a game to these people. They're trying to see how far they can push it before they break us all completely. But they're playing a very dangerous game, because what they're actually doing is they're making people go back to what is important: community, family. So for them, they're playing a dangerous game, because eventually this arrogance will disappear, because they think they're going to tip everybody over the edge and make them all into quivering wrecks. In actual fact, what they're doing is they're making people build communities, making people make each other stronger. So politically, it's not going to work. It might take a while, but politically, it's not going to work. So what are we having for politics? What's going on with politics? Too many. What's happening with politics? Politics. We've got two. We've got the Chariot again, and we've got the Eight of Cups. Right. So politically, we've got people walking away. I think we're going to see a lot of politicians walking away from politics because they are disillusioned with how it's turned out. They can't align with it. It doesn't align with their morals, basically. And then we've got the Chariot. The Chariot is also a balancer, whereas we had the Six of Pentacles. Was it the Six of Pentacles? I'm sure. Yeah, Six of Pentacles is a balancer. So is the Chariot. So we've got people, we've got politicians leaving, but they're leaving the old way and they're joining a new way. I think politically that we're going to see much more old school, with the old morals, politicians moving away from one party and going into the one that they think is going to take the country forward. I think we've got some defections coming from both parties to reform. And I think we've got more than we're expecting, but I think they're expecting a couple anyway. But I think there's going to be one or two very high profile politicians defecting from both parties and going to reform, because they have a more determined, they've got a more determined stance on where they want to take the country, onwards and upwards, driven, determined, with a good balance of policy. So is this all happening in 2025 then? So what's going to happen to the current government? See, this feels like the current government is pure arrogance, pure greed and arrogance. So what's happening with the Labour Party? We have the Four of Swords. Now this, for me, is the rest and recuperation card. It's the meditation card. It's the look back over your life card and try to figure out where you went wrong card. The Four of Swords can also be a convalescing card. And I'm wondering if Keir Starmer is going to walk away from his job because it's just too stressing for him. I think he's going to have a bit of a breakdown. I think he's already having a bit of a breakdown with some of the things that he's actually doing, to be fair. I think he's going to have a little bit of a breakdown, and because he can't cope with his role. He can't cope with his role. He's going to be walking away from it. He can't cope with this. It's mentally too stressing for him. It's too taxing. He can't deal with the hassle. He can't deal with being disliked, and he certainly can't deal with being hated. And it's causing him quite a lot. And there's also this private life stuff that he's desperately trying to hide, and the Southport cover up he's desperately trying to keep hidden. It's too much. I don't think he's going to be able to stay the course. I actually thought he was going to be out by Christmas, but you know, hey ho. But possibly by April or May. I don't think they're going to allow these May elections to go ahead unless there's that much of a... I'm not taking that many. Unless there's that much of a kickback over it. Unless people protest and kick back over it, they are going to stop these May elections. If they don't stop the May elections because there's too much opposition to it, then I think he'll be gone. Because he'll realise just how... At the moment, he's refusing to see how unpopular he is. And I think when he realises just how hated he is, he won't be able to cope with that mentally. He'll be gone. And then we've got the Page. So basically, he won't be able to take the strain, which brings a new opportunity for someone else. Pages, an opportunity, a job opportunity. Yeah, he's going. It's a new job opportunity for somebody. Now, I don't know who this person is going to be, but I think the whole thing's collapsing. I honestly do think the whole thing's collapsing. And I don't just mean for Labour, I mean for the Tories as well. They're they've absolutely ruined the country. They know they've ruined the country, but they're following a narrative, they're following an agenda, and the agenda's not working for the people. And over time, the people will wake up. The balance will be redressed. It's going to take time. 2025 is going to be difficult. There is going to be a new leader put in place because he won't be able to cope with the strain of it. And what's this leader going to be like then? He's not going to be able to cope with how unpopular he is. He's going to wish he stayed in the Crown Prosecution Service. I mean, his whole life's falling apart. His family's falling apart. His party's falling apart. His popularity's in the toilet. He's picked a cabinet that are just inexperienced and don't know what they're doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's too much of a big job for him. Too much of a job for him. He's not going to be able to do it. What's this person going to be like? Right, so this new person is going to be someone who's full of adventure in a lot of ways. Someone who's quite fiery and got loads of ambitions and good ideas and full of all these things. Still not telling me who this is because I can't see anybody on the Labour cabinet that's fiery and full of bold ideas. Could be Wes Streeting. Could be Wes Streeting. Expanding, yeah, someone's going to be expanding. Oh, I don't like the idea of expanding plans. If it's expanding plans they've already got, then no thank you. Right, so it's a young person who's going to take over. Someone who's got plenty of fire in the belly, bold, not afraid to do something different and go against my nose is itching. I might be coming out with something quite bold and unexpected, I think. It's not going to tell me. One more round. Who's this person? This person is also a Virgo. The Hermit, again. Looking back on where you went wrong. Somebody new coming in is going to use the information looking back on where it all went wrong and start to take bold moves to redress the balance. There's some redressing of balance definitely going on in 2025. The government is going to do whichever it is. There's going to be a lot of defections. He's going to go and it's going to start all over. It's going to start a new cycle. Definitely going to start a new cycle. There's going to be new leadership who is definitely willing to look at where they've gone wrong and is going to take some bold moves. It's going to redress the balance. Definitely. With that and the Six of Cups, wherever we are, we're definitely redressing the balance. I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be a tough ride. It's going to be tight, money-wise. And the only thing we can do, which is the biggest thing of all, is to stay out of fear, stay out of anger, don't bite, don't get involved in anything that can, spark an accusation that you're never going to shake off. And keep building communities, stick together and show your voice through one huge community. Look after each other. It's going to be a tough one. Right, I'm off. I'll speak to you another day. Take care. Ta-ra.